The loudest, the biggest, the brashest. New York is its own character in every play.
The bad thing about New York is the pressure. You're always under pressure.
Here are the stories about those plays. It's New York Accent with Damon Amendolara.
Welcome inside New York Accent, everybody. The show about stars here from New York and those that have succeeded in the city from the teams that play here. And our next guest is a pro hooper, an entertainer, trainer, influencer, and a Harlem Globetrotter. She is in the city, in Harlem today, getting ready to see the sights and the sounds and to put on a show. Joining us here on New York Accent is Brianna Bree Green. Bree, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for dropping on by. This event seems pretty cool. You've got a lot of And One superstars in the mix as well. And One always puts on a tremendous show. So tell us about what the event's going to look like today at the Kingdome in Harlem.
I'm super excited. We were out in Philly a couple weeks ago, and it had a great turnout. I think it was like 200 people showed up. But this is New York. This is the Mecca, and apparently we have about 500 people who signed up. It could be more, and I'm just excited to see it. You know, it's for the culture, it's for And One, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Lance Stevenson, who's a Brooklyn kid. You got Skip to My Lou. You got
we got Hot Sauce. You got the Pharmacist. Who else is over there? Shane, Dribbling, all these guys, all the legends, the OGs, you know.
That's right, the And One OGs. It's an open run NYC put on by And One at Kingdome on 90 Malcolm X Boulevard in Harlem today. So Brianna has been a part of the Harlem Globetrotters, and that's a group that puts on the show as well as anybody. She was only the 15th female member ever for the Harlem Globetrotters. When you're growing up in Lexington, Kentucky, the Globetrotters come through. What was that first experience like to see them?
So my aunt took me and my brother. Sorry, it's loud in here. They got the music going. My aunt took me and my brother when I was about 8 years old. My brother was about 10 years old. And I just remember at the time, I didn't see a girl on the team. I know that there were girls around, but on that particular team, I didn't see a female. But I do know that I really enjoyed it. You know, anything basketball related, I love. So I had a blast going, but I didn't know it was going to be in my future. It's kind of crazy how that all happened. And being on the team was kind of like a full circle moment, especially when I got to play back at Rupp Arena.
It's incredible. So you saw them come through at Rupp Arena in Lexington, home of the Wildcats at Kentucky. And you go on to your high school career in Lexington, then a collegiate career at UTEP, then you play overseas as well professionally. And it's at that point where people encourage you to just start putting out some feelers to the Globetrotters because you had put out some dribbling videos and you were kind of showing off your handle. And so you end up going a ton of time between when you saw them as a kid to when you even have the light bulb go off that maybe you can join the Globetrotters. So when you first start putting out those videos about dribbling, what's the idea there? What's the purpose?
Honestly, there wasn't any purpose behind it except for the fact that my family and my Facebook friends always wanted to know what I was doing. And at the time, I had just had a knee surgery, so they were just trying to basically checking up on me. So I was like, let me post a video on Facebook so they can, know what's going on. And it like blew up. It went viral. And everybody's like, she tried for the Globetrotters. The Globetrotters saw it. And the recruiter, he reached out, invited me to come out. And honestly, at the time, I was like I thought the Globetrotters were dope. Like when I saw them, I was excited. But at the time, I was like still in between of if I want to play like professionally still. And just because I know I'm super competitive, I was like, I don't know if it's like would be good for me. Like it seems cool, but I don't know. But then like my brother talked me into it and he's like, Bree, this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like the only one of the few females who's ever played. Like how many people can say they played for the Globetrotters coming from Lexington? So I was like, okay, that makes sense.
So you take them up on the offer, which is awesome. And you go from just posting a video just to have fun So now you have over 1 million followers between all of your channels and subscribers on social media. So you're completely blown up in the public eye. What is it like to see hundreds of thousands of followers each on every one of your channels to have more than 1 million followers compared to a time where you didn't even think that video would go viral?
I know. It is crazy when you put it into perspective because it was nothing I had planned for. But it just shows you like how small the world is and how much smaller social media makes the world. Like I have people reaching out to me from like China, Africa, and I've been to Africa now, like just because of basketball and the Globetrotters. So it's just pretty amazing. Like I said, the world's so small and just how social media can bring people together. But it definitely wasn't the plan. But you know, I'm blessed to be where I am today, and I don't know, it's just kind of crazy.
What's your favorite Harlem Globetrotter prank or moment or trick?
It's gotta be the water bucket, you know, ring skit thing. Cause it's like people always know it's coming. They always flinch. Like they always fall for it. It's funny because there's a guy up here who has a Globetrotter jersey on right in front of me. He has on the Curly Neal jersey. But yeah, I'd say the water bucket skit. Because everybody gets scared knowing there's only confetti in it.
We all know there's confetti in it. Everybody has seen the bit 1,000 times, and yet when you throw the bucket at them, everyone goes like, no, don't do it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's really funny. So when you join the Globetrotters, I'm sure there's like classes to learn the history or the lexicon or, you know, the tricks, obviously. So what is the education of a Globetrotter like?
Well, so we do go through training camp. That's about a couple weeks. Obviously you need to know they want you to learn how to spin the ball because that's like the most iconic thing with the Globetrotters. I do a lot of PR with them. So I was like an advanced ambassador for them. So I can know and learn all the history of the Globetrotters and going to school visits and public speaking and all these different engagements. You just had to have practice. And honestly, at the time when I first started, I'm like an introvert, and they were like, Bree, want you to do public speaking, and I was like, no, like I don't do that. And I'm still like, I don't know, it's still definitely out of my, you know, it makes me get out of my comfort zone, but it's helped me grow a lot. So being with them helped me grow a lot with that.
Tell me about living and playing in New York. I mean, of course, the Globetrotters go everywhere, but they're based in Harlem. So how long have you spent time in New York now for, and what's your vibe?
Fun fact, the Globetrotters aren't based in Harlem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let me give you a little history, all right?
All right, right on.
So it came from the Harlem Renaissance back in like 1926. The team was based in this town, somewhere in Illinois. They called them the Harlem Globetrotters because the Harlem Renaissance, and the Globetrotters because he wanted to make it seem like they were just traveling the world, or really that hadn't even left like Chicago yet. But it sounded nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the team actually isn't technically from Harlem, but here we are.
Okay, interesting. So how much time have you gotten to spend in New York? Like I said, you grew up in Kentucky, and then you played your college ball in El Paso. So how much time have you been able to spend in the Big Apple?
I mean, I've been here a few times now, like just because the name Harlem, everybody thinks like the Harlem Globetrotters, like I said, are based here. But so we do come here a lot. I've probably been here, I don't even know how many times now, maybe 10 times. But every time I come, it's a vibe. I always enjoy it. Like I said, it's the basketball mecca, I think, of the world. So being in this environment, being in the culture here, I love it.
Tell me about the energy, the electricity that happens at an event like this in Harlem, because New York City loves its basketball. Rucker Park and Madison Square Garden and where you are, Kingdome, and all these great outdoor courts all over the city. It creates these great players, both men and women. And so what's the energy like at an event like this in Harlem?
Oh, I think the energy is going to be crazy. Like I said, there was about 500 signups. So the energy is going to be crazy. I can already feel it's going to be a dope experience, a dope vibe. Because like when you think of and1, you do think of New York, you think of Harlem, you think of all these cities. So these guys, these ladies, they're going to come out here and they're going to try to put on a show because for them it might be their only shot. So why not, take it?
So is this to find new and1 talent, recruit and1 talent potentially?
Yeah, so they're going to be picking 5 guys or ladies to go on the tour bus. Like I said, we were just in Philly a couple of weeks ago, and they picked 5 guys from there. And then they was going to bounce around the city and get the best talent.
That's awesome. Hey, so women's basketball is certainly having its moment right now. The Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, LSU, Iowa championship game. Ratings were off the charts. The NCAA tournament was hugely viewed and popular. WNBA attendance way up, ratings way up for the WNBA as well. There is really big-time momentum behind women's athletics in general, but also specifically women's basketball. When you see that happening, how does it make you feel?
I love it. I'm all for it. I was tuned into the college with Caitlin Clark. They're amazing. But I was just in Vegas for the WNBA All-Star Weekend, and it was a packed house. And I'm like, yes, it's about time women get respect. I feel like there's definitely a movement going on in the right direction. I think we still have a lot of ways to go, but we're going up. And it's just super exciting to see this from when I was a little girl and just how people are supporting it and getting behind it. NBA players, like, everybody's getting behind it, and I think it's about
Yeah, it's a really cool dynamic now where you have these NBA players that are huge stars, and they're there repping WNBA players, they're supporting them, they're waving towels, they're wearing the jerseys, and then, that brings both sides together, and it just kind of builds off one another. So that's got to be something that's really a thrill to see, both genders kind of supporting one another.
No, definitely. And I think when, for example, on social media, you'll get the people trolling. Like if you post a woman in sports, they're like, "Oh, who's she? Who's that? Go yak in the kitchen." Like I've heard it all. But if I feel like when, for example, like NBA players or like Kobe, Kobe was all in, especially with Gigi. To see NBA players who obviously respect the game and respect the women doing it, I feel like it has a factor or plays a part with the people who have no idea what they're talking about. And they're like, oh, well, Kobe liked it, LeBron liked it. I should follow along too. Let me go tune into the sport. Oh, they're actually dope. So I feel like it weighs and has an impact by, NBA players. We just males, period.
No doubt. I mean, if you are a basketball fan in general and Kobe says the WNBA is cool, you'd be an idiot to be like, no, Kobe's wrong, because people idolize Kobe. He's one of the greatest players ever. So you're right. It carries a lot of weight. With all of your travels with the Harlem Globetrotters, where's been one of the most fun places to travel to across the world?
I mean, I've been able to travel all over the world. Like literally, I think honestly the coolest place I went to, and I'm not even speaking as far as like playing specifically, I mean just like the experience I've been seeing was definitely African. It's just like kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity again.
And pretty cool that basketball is exploding everywhere on earth. I mean, with Joel Embiid and Jokic and all these Doncic, all these great players, Giannis, are coming to the NBA from all over the world. There's elite talent and a lot of fandom all over the world. So going to Africa must have been cool to see a whole continent that's really, really into basketball that's now getting great players, right?
Yeah, basketball is like they come from everywhere now. It's international. It's blowing up. Football, soccer. Everybody loves that. It's over in Europe, but I feel like basketball, it's right there. It's getting bigger and bigger. We feel like it's bigger in the U.S. because of the NBA, but It's growing up international.
Well, your event is starting here soon, so I don't want to keep you too much longer, but just let us know when you're on the court with a bunch of and one stars and you're running. Are you sitting back and watching the display, or do you want to get involved and do the tricks on your own because you've been a Globetrotter?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a little bit of both. Honestly, I grew up watching these guys. Like, all this stuff is a full circle moment for me. Like, I was telling my brother, like, we used to go, we had all animal mixtapes, DVDs. I would take them. I would try to memorize them, like, what hot sauce to get on, skip my loose. And I would just go and practice it. So the fact that I'm here, just out here hanging out with them is kind of crazy. And even being with the Globetrotters and how my aunt took you to my first dance, it's crazy. But so I'm gonna watch him, but I'm gonna get mine in too, because I can't just not. I have to.
That's awesome. And everybody that's ever known you and you've grown up with and your family said, Bree's got the personality for being a Globetrotter because you've got a little showmanship in you. You're always smiling. You're a gym rat. So it kind of fits your personality. Even though you said you're an introvert, I think being a Globetrotter seems to fit your personality, right?
No, definitely. I'm definitely an introvert off the court, but when I have a ball in my hand, it's real different.
That's amazing. Well, the And One Open Run is happening today in Harlem at Kingdome, so check it out. You can check out Bree on all of her social media channels. Over 600,000 followers on Instagram. That's at Brianna Green. More than 600,000 followers on TikTok. That's at Brianna Green 11. YouTube, Twitter as well. You can find her. Bree Green. She's a star. Joins us here on New York Accent. Bree, have a great day today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy New York Accent, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more episodes like this one. Also, if you want to watch more episodes of New York Accent, check out our playlist and let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you for the next episode of New York Accent.